Hello again. This is Dr. Dean, and I'm going to go over the different types of parallel muscles. Yeah, a category about categories. Categories begets categories. That's the nature of human anatomy and physiology. Bear with me. I got my guy Afro Samurai right here, and please be with me as I explain this because I'm going back to undergrad with a lot of this material. But anyway, without further ado, let's talk about these parallel muscles. There are three categories. I almost threw up four. Three categories. You have strap, fusiform, and fan shape. Again, strap, fusiform, and fan shape. Now, the first category being strap, I've already covered a strap muscle already called the sternocleidomastoid. It's a band muscle, parallel muscle that is strapped in shape, akin to a belt. And then another example of a strap muscle is the Sartorius muscle, which is a long muscle that runs from your hip crest all the way down to your knee. And again, remember, parallel muscles are primarily utilized in large, broad movements. I've already explained the sternocleidomastoid in another video, but I'm going to tell you more about the Sartorius. Well, just a tad more about the Sartorius because I don't want to get too deep. This is just a categorical video. Now, the Sartorius muscle is a strap muscle that runs all the way down to the knee, and it is responsible for hip and knee flexion, or at least that's two of the main functions of it. It does other things, but this is a short video about, something else. Gonna get more into that later. Now, the second category is your fusiform muscle. Now, a famous example of the fusiform muscle is the bicep. And why is the bicep called a fusiform muscle? Well, if you was to take the bicep and cut it in half, and you look down at the flat surface of the cut, you will see cylindrical tubes of muscle fibers bundled together. So it's a series of cylinders connected to one another. And if you look at the bicep while it's extended, you will see that it is a cylinder, even though it looks like an oval. So if you cut it in half and you look down at the top of it, you will see cylinders of bundles of muscle fibers band together in this fashion. So pretend that this open space right here is just full of muscle fibers, cross section. And then you have the last category that I mentioned, the fan shape. And fan shape muscles are, again, since they're parallel muscles, they're responsible for large movements. And the most famous, or at least what I think is the most famous example of a fan shape muscle is the chest or the pectoralis major or any form of the pec, because there are different sections of the pec. So this area right here, primarily used for pushing motions. So as you can see right here, the pec is shaped like a fan because it covers a broad surface area, responsible for large movements, really strong motions. All right, those are the three categories of parallel muscles. Now, the reason why I'm going over these categories is because as I build up to biomechanics, you're going to have to understand what's called, and I'm going to jump ahead just a tad. You're going to have to understand origins, insertions, actions, and the nerve endings that are responsible for biomechanical movement. Because, again, the body is a machine. And the more I discuss the arrangements and the types of muscles and the types of fibers and how they're all connected, it's all going to make sense when I talk about lever systems, which is like another whole video in of itself. So, I'm glad that you stuck with me this far. We're going to continue to learn more. I may or may not have artwork every single time I do a video. Hopefully I'll get to a point, I will get to a point where I'm going to have whiteboards so that way I can give you better visual aids to put words to pictures, so that way you can really understand what's going on and what the hell I'm talking about. So that's all I have for you this evening. Those are the 3 types of parallel muscles, and hope to see you again. Deuce.